what are your thoughts about Andrew Tate? Like meeting him, kicking it with him in person. What are your thoughts about him?
Well, we barely talked to him before and after because it was very tight. Like he had to come at a certain time, go at a certain time. So
Yep.
like I literally filmed till 5 minutes before he was supposed to leave because I was like, I'm getting every inch of
Yeah,
content.
yeah, yeah.
We are filming this whole time.
Yep.
But he was very polite. He was very nice. Yeah, I mean, it
Do you
was.
think he get a bad rap in a general sense?
Oh, of course, everyone does in this space.
Yeah.
Anyone that advocates for men gets a bad rap.
I wonder why that is though.
Because I just think we have a gynocentric social order. I just think like the whole world, like we've been conditioned to not really hold women accountable for anything.
Yeah.
And so whenever someone does it, it's like, oh my God. But
Yeah.
it's like a lot of times we're just stating the obvious. Girl, you fucked the whole, you fucked the whole NBA. Like, what'd you think was going to happen? Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
you know?
It's funny because I look at your background, you know, you being raised with your father and all of that other type of stuff. Do you think that that's affected your perspective towards what's happening in society today with feminism and all of that other type of stuff? Like, you know, you were raised, you got, you know, it's 5 and 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, being raised in a 2-parent household and stuff. But then, you know, I've heard you say, and you've even told me that it's not like we had everything.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, you know, we was on yachts and stuff like that. Do you think that's informed or influenced your perspective towards what's going on today, as far as the whole feminist movement and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I would say my dad, because if I take a personality test, I'm very liberal.
Really?
Yeah, if I take a personality test, I'm actually like, it says there's a 90 something, Jordan Peterson's test
Yeah.
says there's like a 90 something % chance that I'd be liberal because I'm very open to new experience. Like all the traits that tend to go with like if a liberal buys a dog, they want a dog that's fun.
Mhm.
And if a conservative buys a dog, they want one that's going to protect them. And my
Yeah,
dog is
I
like the
got what you're saying.
goofy bulldog, right? And and there's other traits that like go with each. But every time I like kind of started to go a little bit left, I would say things to my dad because I'm so opinionated and I just talk to my dad all the time.
Yeah.
And he would just kind of dispel them like one by one by one. And there's some stuff I've red pilled him on too. So
Is your dad more conservative? Or is he more liberal?
both my parents are conservative.
So how did you get the new experiences, you know?
They probably have traits that go with liberals. So
Creative, because you're
so-
more of a creative, whether people believe it or not. You're more of a creative type of person. Like you just have thoughts that the only difference, and I tell people this all the time, you get that shit out though.
Yeah.
Like you just execute.
Yeah.
And you're just like a bulldog, like, yo, I want to see this happen and this is what I'm gonna do, whatever, so on and so forth.
Yeah, I just love seeing like ideas come to life. I don't know, I just love it. I love making content. It's so fun to me. And I just think if it advocates for groups like men that really aren't advocated for in society, it's like a plus.
Yeah.
And I think there's a shortage of that. So all the content we can, even if sometimes it focuses on the negative.
Does your parents worry about you?
Not really.
Really?
My mom was worried when I went to London. No, I mean,
With all of the, because I mean, nobody can really prepare you for what it is that you're facing right now, as far as like all of the pushback and love, hate, you know, interacting with different people, content creators. They do reactions to you and your stuff or whatever. So on. Like they don't worry about you from that lens and that, oh my God, you know, I don't want them to say nothing about my pearl.
see, my parents don't worry. They just help. So if there's a problem, like they're not going to sit there worrying about it. They're just going to figure out how to solve it. So like if I come to my dad and I'm like, I'm worried about this, this, and this, he's just going to give me like 3 different ways to solve it. Like they're just not worriers. They're just like, I'll give you some like for example, I was really stressed out like the past couple months. It was just crazy. And my dad would just go through and be like, okay, this is how you can fix that. That's how you can fix that. This is how you can fix that.
Yeah.
And so I don't think they worry because they're helping me fix the problem. And that's like where their mind's at.
What does your siblings think about everything that's going on with you right now?
Depends who you ask. We got some libs in the family.
Really?
We couldn't get them all conservative. We couldn't save them all. Eva, Amelia, but they're young. We still have hope.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Most of them are conservative or like more on the conservative side.
Yeah.
However, you can't save all of them, Anton.
Yeah. What
So
about like is the girls more liberal and then the guys are more conservative, or is it
yeah,
like
yeah.
yeah
I mean, still most of the girls, the 5, I'm conservative. 3-ish. I'd say like 2.5 are like one's more in the middle,
yeah?
but 2 are more liberal. But they're the youngest, so like
Oh, so they'll grow out of it.
one is 16, so
Yeah,
it's like another one's
yeah,
she's 18, so it's kind of like
yeah.
they say if you're not liberal in college, you don't have a heart. And if you're not, and if you're not conservative by 40, you don't have a job.
Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, with that being said, though, like, do you think that college campuses, because I got this philosophy that college campuses for women in a lot of instances probably can be a bad thing if they don't have that guidance or they don't have that foundation.
Oh, I didn't need to go to college. I loved sports. I loved playing.
Yeah.
So that is the only reason that I probably would go do college again, just because I just loved it so much. But honestly, career wise, like I don't really know what you get out of it. Like I didn't learn much that helped me with what I do now.
Yeah.
I think if you're going into STEM, sure, but I don't really see the use of college 80% of the time.
Yeah. They say that colleges or campuses is just indoctrination camps for, you know, having more of a liberal view and kind of making women for the streets.
Yeah, well, you're putting half of the dorms are co-ed.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think's gonna happen if you put a bunch of horny 18-year-olds in a freaking dorm together?
Yeah.
Do you know what I like? It's like, yeah, and then on top of that, like drinking culture is so prevalent in colleges.
Absolutely.
So it's like I think community college could be a good option. I think live at home, go to community college.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that it's getting worse. I was kind of in my mind just thinking about the different guys and what's been happening to them, from the Andrew Tates to all throughout the year, and it seemed like it's getting worse and worse for men. Like regardless of how many of the conversations and how much awareness we bring, I don't think that feminism in the form that it's in today is going away. And I kind of seen that on that panel that you were on Vice, and that
so many crazies.
It's a lot of women that think differently.
Yeah, a lot of weirdos with daddy issues.
But then, okay, so let me ask you another question. Because it's a lot of guys that actually support it. Do you think that the problem is the women and their mindset as far as embracing feminism, or do you think that it's more detrimental about the men that supporting feminism?
Well, no, I think it's more on the women. Like, that's just my opinion. I feel like women changed more than men have. And a lot of reasons, like, you see men supporting feminism is just trying to appease the women, which they shouldn't do.
No.
But it still starts with the women.
Yeah.